For the first time since the Nazis, Germany is hosting the Olympics.
So, when I was in Munich, the swimming program started on Monday and ran for 8 days, so Monday through Monday. On the last event of the day, I was invited to go out to dinner. We came in at around 2 o'clock in the morning.
In the middle of the night, terrorists of Black September raid the dormitory housing the Israeli athletes. 2 Israelis are killed, 9 are taken hostage.
And it was all happening like in slow motion. So I was thrust in a unique situation. To be a Jew, well, that's kind of an interesting position to put some pressure on somebody. So finally I was taken to the Olympic Village through escort with the police now, and I got back into where the room was. We were watching TV, and then pretty soon this story started to develop. But there was constant comment, well, we believe Mark Spitz, who's finished his program in swimming the day before, is actually someplace and been actually removed, and he's in Italy. Then about 20 minutes later, no, actually that information was wrong. He's somewhere in Sweden. Now, whether or not they were doing that just to get people off the scent of where I actually was, the reality was I was where I was, which was still at the Olympic Village in my room. It took from about 11 o'clock in the morning until about 3 or 4 in the afternoon to have a definitive plan. So my coach and I basically were taken down into the parking lot area. And we were put in a Mercedes, I remember, in the back seat, and there was like this army blanket. They told me to crouch down in the back seat and then put this blanket over me. And then we drove, and then they told me after about 5 minutes, okay, fine, sit up. And we were driven to the airport. And then we were on a plane to London. When we got to London, we were taken to a particular hotel, and woke up in the morning. There was a guard outside the door. All night long. Before we went to bed, he says, "You're dangerous to be around." I go, "Well, I was actually thinking the same thing around you, just as a joke." I mean, we didn't know what was going on. And when we woke up in the morning, of course, the guard told us what had happened.
By helicopter, the captive Israeli athletes are taken to Munich airport, where one of the fanatic guerrillas destroys the craft, killing himself and 11 Israelis.
In an airport shootout, all 9 hostages, 5 Arabs, and a policeman are killed.
I had an interesting opportunity to meet a couple of the wives of the slain athletes when I was in Israel, and 2 of their children. They related to me in a very big way. One, that I was Jewish, and number 2, I was at the same Olympics with their fathers. It was a terrible tragedy for not only those athletes, but for the Olympic movement and for the families in particular. And we're still talking about it today.